right. We're very demure, very mindful on this podcast. Actually, probably not today, okay? I'm probably going to rant most of it, so this ain't going to be mindful. Welcome to the Sarah Fraser Show. I'm your host, Sarah. So, lots to get to. Egg donor update. A lot of gossip, too, from over the weekend we're going to talk about. I told y'all about Bethenny Frankel so long ago, but now Bethenny Frankel chicken salad in the Hamptons is trending, so I'll rant about that. If you're completely lost about the very demure, very mindful trend, we'll get into it. And then an egg donor update. That, and I have a lot of other stuff, including apparently it's over for Burning Man. I haven't even had a chance to go to Burning Man. All right, well, let's be serious, bitch. You ain't going to Burning Man. It's the truth. I'm not going. I'm not going to stay out there in the desert. If I were going to go, I want the $80,000 camper and the whole experience. And it's over, apparently. Nobody's going. So, all right, welcome to the pod. Let's start with my egg donor journey. People are always curious about that. And we've selected the egg donor. So we have the donor. We are purchasing 8 eggs. The company that we are going with guarantees a egg to blast, which means that it fertilizes with schman's sperm. It makes it past that like 5-day because they unthaw it. They fertilize it. Then they give it a grade, like an AA or a A. I hope the AA doesn't mean it's in a meeting, but you know what I mean, okay? So they give it a grade. The better the A rating, like the most likely it is to have 0 chromosomal issues, and it's well fertilized and it's ready to be implanted. So usually every time you unthaw, you lose about half. That's why they say 8 is a good number, because when you might not, right? You might get 6 that go to blast and completely fertilize. It's a complete, you have no idea, right? So we bought this woman's eggs. She's 6 feet tall. I'm very excited. Schman's mom and most of Schman's grandparents were quite small, and his mom's still alive, thank God. But she's only like 5'2", or 5'1". So I'm hoping that maybe Schman picks up that side of it, because Schman is 5'10", 5'11". And that will balance it out, or otherwise we're having a giant child. But here we go. So really the next phase is when you do this process, because people have said like, Sarah, I want the whole recap. And I feel like I can't give the full recap yet because I'm only still in the beginning stages. I feel like the really, I don't know, juicy stuff, or maybe the stuff you have to kind of think about, comes later on when the eggs actually unthaw and then they start to be fertilized. Because also, we only want one more kid on our own. And then we're also fostering, looking into and starting the process of being approved to foster to adopt here in Los Angeles. So I only want one more child that I'm going to carry, and then all my other babies can come, however, from different mamas and different daddies, babies from all kinds of places. So I feel like the real stuff that you have to decide comes later on. But because for us, it was never a difficult decision to think about egg donor. I felt like I should have done egg donor even before I tried this round of IVF that failed this spring. But a lot of moms that have done egg donor said to me, try IVF, because you don't want to ever have regrets. You don't want to ever wonder like, hey, if I had done IVF, would it have worked? Could I have used my own DNA, right? Because that's important for a lot of people, and I completely understand that. So I did that round of IVF. It failed. We were going to do a second one. They screwed up the medication delivery again. I just said, this is a sign to not do this. Very happy about it. Was ready to move on to egg donor prior to that. The biggest thing you have to think about when doing an egg donor is fresh or frozen. I have friends that are scientists who have told me the ratio of success between fresh and frozen is like a 2% difference, meaning you have like a 2 to 3% higher percentage that the fresh egg will work over frozen. To me, that was not a big enough difference to justify. Fresh egg donors are insanely expensive, $40,000, $50,000. You are paying, which is great. These young women should absolutely get paid. And the frozen egg donors get paid as well, but they just do it on their schedule whenever they want. The eggs are there. You purchase them. So the fresh egg donor, it doesn't even make sense to me. This is such a racket out here. Anyhow, a lot of clinics, IVF clinics push you to do a fresh egg donor, which is like $40,000, $50,000. And of course, if you want anything specific, eye color, hair color, athlete, Ivy League, I could care less about any of these things. But for some people, they are important. Even more and more money, right? And then she does a cycle, could be months. And if she's not within it's such a racket. If she doesn't live within a certain radius of Los Angeles, you have to pay all her expenses. Great for the women. I mean, this is a business. Like, do you want, get it? But I was not going to do this. That to me was the biggest decision. Frozen egg banks are just as qualified, do all the same screening, do all the same mental screening, do all the same blood work screening, the whole thing. You still get to do a profile. So I was not going to do the fresh. I'm not doing fresh eggs. So I'm doing the frozen. Very excited about it. Picking the donor. A lot of people said to me, isn't that strange? Because you go on these websites and you really select a menu. It is. Initially, the first time you do it, you are like, wow, this is kind of like customizing a chicken sandwich, but a little different. But it's true. You pick the race, hair color, or eye colors you're okay with, height range, education range, religious, if that's important to you. Anyhow, so once I got over that, picking was pretty easy. And I just really, and Schman's so on the same page with me, so it makes it easy. But I was all about going with my gut. And as I told you guys, I feel like you get a read for these donors, all of whom are lovely. But that one woman that said she was mean as a child and acted like a dog till she was 5, just a red flag. And then we told our therapist about it, our marriage therapist, and she said, yeah, good that you went in a different direction. So that for me was the hardest part, because there were some really great donors that we had on there. And it's probably more nurture versus nature. When it comes to personalities for kids, it's probably your personality, your household versus their DNA. But DNA is strong, baby. So I was happy to let that donor go, pick this woman that I really like. And the other question I've received a lot from you all is, why are these women doing this? Like, why, what did they say? Because they have to give a lot of information on their profile. Not only their personalities, their siblings, their parents' health, their parents' personalities, what their household was like, and also why do they want to donate their eggs? And it's two things. One, for the most part, these profiles are either they're nurses that have worked in OBGYN or still do, and they see the struggle that women go through to have a child. So they want to donate. And then the other thing is usually they either have a sister or a friend who struggled so much with fertility, and so they feel like it's important. And I will say there's a third, which is a lot of them say they don't know that they're going to have kids. So there's that. But the one thing I do think is fascinating when you look at these donors, because they have to be under the age of 31 or 32. That's the cutoff. And they don't let them donate till I think they're 21 or 22. You have to have, your mind developed enough that you're really thinking through this decision, right? Because your DNA is going to be out there. So the one thing that we did notice, which I don't know if this is scary or just indicative of society or what it is, but literally, I'm not even kidding. 98% of all the donors are on some sort of anti-anxiety medication. All of them. Now, is that just being young? I've certainly gone through periods in my life where I was more anxious than others. Is that just because now it's easier to get prescribed an anxiety medication? Or are people that anxious? I don't know. Then if you have anxiety, should you be donating eggs? I mean, if they said no to that, they wouldn't have any egg donors, because all these women they're all on anti-anxiety medication, all of them. Couldn't you just smoke weed? I don't know. No, I guess that makes you paranoid. It's just fascinating to me. I'm like, gosh, but I do think that age range, 20s, is probably when I had the most anxiety. So much uncertainty of your life, and you don't realize kind of how the world works yet, and how, like, if you just relax and let kind of the world ebb and flow, it's much easier than you think. So I don't know, but it was just fascinating. And also fascinating if you're anxious. isn't egg donor kind of the opposite thing you should be doing? Like, isn't that like more unvari like more because then your kid, your DNA is out there? I don't know. Anyhow, weigh on that. Okay. Think about that, guys. Yeah, I wanted to thank you if you joined our live podcast, our virtual live podcast show on Thursday, August 15th with David Yontef. Thank you. It was a packed house. Oh my God. It was too packed. It was too sold out. I don't know what we're going to do for the next one, guys. The show was 2.5 hours. If you were there, you feel it. You feel me. It was such a great show. People had unbelievable questions. Really, a lot of people are very upset about the fact that this is probably the end of Real Housewives of New Jersey as we have known it. There'll be a new iteration, but the old iteration is done. We may not get Teresa back, the legendary Teresa Giudice. So a lot of people wanted to ask about that, wanted David's thoughts, wanted my thoughts, because obviously we do these twice a week. David Yontef and I team up and do Bravo recap shows towards the end of the week. Every single week. It's just great escapism. But the show went on for 2.5 hours because we did all VIP and everybody got to ask a question. So we got to figure out, I don't know if we do 2 VIP parties next time, but we wanted to make it more intimate that everybody got to ask a question, but also hear other people's questions. But honey, it went on and on and on. However, but I'm a person too that I like a show that's 2 hours. Leave me wanting more. Leave me wanting more. So that was that. If you were thinking about going to Burning Man, it's over, apparently. News stories coming out this past weekend say that Burning Man sales are down to a record low. It is normally 70,000 people gather for 1 week in August. It's the first time since 2011 that the resale market is selling for half the price. People cannot even sell their tickets for half of the $575 normal fee. You can currently get tickets to Burning Man right now for $200, $300. The lowest amount they're saying since 2011. Now, people have a lot of speculation about this. Is this a sign of the economy? That's my take. I think the economy is way worse than we think. But they also say the weather, the unpredictable weather last year that, of course, ended with torrential downpour, and it's out in the desert, so you're not anticipating that. The incredible downpour, poor weather had people stuck for days trying to leave Burning Man, and that has turned off thousands of people who are not interested in being stuck in the mud in their designer campers. This is actually the year to go if you were going to go. Now, back in the day, I'm talking like 2017, 2016, when Burning Man was red hot and everyone was going, if you went on the more luxury end, meaning you and your friends rented like, the $100,000 drive-in camper, the 5-star tents, Burning Man could cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000, and for some people up to $20,000 for the week. Used to be very artsy, very indie. You ride around nude on a bicycle is what my friends say that have gone there. But now it's become much more designer and posh, and people are also rejecting it because the true meaning of connecting with the world and earth and people and not valuing material things is gone from Burning Man. So do we think we could see an end to Burning Man? I've always wanted to go, but now with a kid, what am I going to do? I'm not going. Let's be honest. I don't know. Have you gone to, actually, let me ask you this. Have you ever gone to Burning Man and you were sober? Because I'm not going to my days are way behind me of drinking all day. I never did drugs, but it just ain't happening. Now I'm definitely not doing them with fentanyl and all that shenanigans. Ain't happening here. So if you're going to Burning Man, let me know. But apparently they're not, I don't even know that they're expecting 40,000 people at this point. Everybody's still watching and talking about because today is the day that Scott Peterson speaks. Face to Face with Scott Peterson is now up on Peacock if you have a subscription. Guys, I really struggle with true crime. I'm not a huge true crimer. I am when it comes to I will say this. I really am obsessed with true crime shows that or these stories where they're going back thanks to great DNA and police work 35 years ago and they're solving murders, missing person. That to me is like holy crap. Like people are really getting justice. And I mean, how bittersweet. You have to wait 25 years to find out who murdered your sister, what happened, but they're doing it. You see these stories pop up every single week and I love to see that cuz just gives people a bit of closure. And hell they're prosecuting these old hags that are these mostly men that are 75 years old, honey. They were living their life and they're going to prison where they should be. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I did, however, watch the other documentary that a lot of people are talking about for one reason, which I will share, is American Murder Lacey Peterson, which has been out on Netflix now for over a week. But people are really talking about that. Very good documentary. Interesting they dropped it before Peacocks because very damning to Scott Peterson. And if you're thinking to yourself, why is Scott Peterson having a moment again? It's because the Innocence Project last year here in California said there is other DNA evidence that needs to be tested to truly prove that Scott Peterson is guilty. We believe there's a chance that Scott Peterson could be innocent. And they point to some robbers that were in the area that they believe could have abducted and murdered Lacey Peterson. Seems far-fetched to me, but I am not a lawyer. I'm not in the Innocence Project, and I have been told the Innocence Project really knows what they're doing. Okay. Sure. Let's see it. But people, the reason that the American Murder Lacey Peterson documentary continues to get conversation is because Amber Fry has resurfaced after more than a decade. Amber Fry was the mistress of Scott Peterson, who initially was treated in the press like a homewrecker, only to testify against him, work with police, and to be proven that she knew that Scott lied to her. Scott, in fact, was at a candlelight vigil, told her, Amber Fry, he was in Paris for New Year's Eve, was at a candlelight vigil trying to find his wife, and was telling Amber he couldn't wait to see her. Okay. So people have said, wow, Amber Fry's like living her life in Fresno. She seems to have had more than a great decade. She also has a daughter who is grown now. She looks terrific. And people are praising her for helping Lacey Peterson and her family put Scott behind bars. But we'll see how it goes because Scott could be getting a new trial, if you can believe it. Bethenny Frankel, I've told you guys this. What do y'all see in her? What do y'all see in this woman that is such a narcissist, like a narcissist on another level, been engaged 9 times. 9 times? Okay, that doesn't say right there to you something? I'll tell you right now. It doesn't work with Schman and I get divorced. I remarry. That doesn't work. That's it. Okay? 2 times, maybe I would go a third. If the third doesn't work, no. Same with her engagement. Why is she getting engaged? This woman's been engaged 9 times. It doesn't work. You're the issue. Like at what point? I can remember Sammy K, my old radio co-host. I would make him go out and take photos of me. And I never liked any of them. And we would take dozens and dozens of pictures. And I'd be like, oh, I look fat, this, that. He goes, at what point is it the subject? It's not the, it's not the camera. It was the best. That line I have used for people in my entire life. At what point are you the problem? She is a nut job. The latest thing she's done that's now gaining press, and the video is everywhere, is she goes into a Hamptons gourmet shop where over the past, I have unfollowed her on all accounts because I cannot take it anymore. She's so self-righteous. She's so, she's the worst. And so Round Swamp Farm. Let's find the chicken salad video. So she goes to this Hamptons place that she's kind of made famous because of their chicken salad, and she wants to be recognized. She wants some sort of recognition because she believes that she has gotten them thousands and thousands of dollars in. Okay, here we go. She had somebody filming herself, and she's filming herself. She goes into this gourmet shop where she has promoted their chicken salad, told everybody to go there, and she walks in and she expects people to recognize her. Now, some people are saying this is a joke. Some people are saying that she is joking. First of all, she's not funny. She has no sense of like humor whatsoever. So some people are saying she's not being self-righteous. She didn't want credit. She's being funny. She went in here and she wanted to see if anyone would thank her for all the people that she's brought into this gourmet food shop. This is it.
Big reaction.
I want a big reaction.
I've moved tens of thousands of dollars of food here. I want a big reaction.
Shut up. Insufferable, this woman. She's filming herself and no one's reacting.
I wish I was making it up. I can't believe it. I think we have to cancel Bounce on Chicken Salad. I was actually in shock. I thought I'd go in there and someone would like say hi. I can't believe it. Did you see that? You guys saw it. I walked in there. Every person at the store was talking to me, and they're like, "I'm buying this because of you." But the people that work here, why is it? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with? She said they don't say it for the people in the back. They don't care.
Oh my God.
They know exactly who I am. I don't know.
They know exactly who I am, bitch. Nobody cares. Ugh. Anyway, Bethany has her stands. I have said this. People have slid in my DMs. They're like, have you seen this? What do you have to say about it? Y'all know what I have to say about it. If you listen to my episodes with David every week, I'm like, she's just become, I don't know who would follow her. There's nothing likable about this woman. And I don't think I'm with Perez Hilton. I don't think she's as rich as she says she is, because you wouldn't be doing all this if you had real money. Anyhow, if you're a Bethany stan, please tell me why you're still following her. Some people do message me these long things. They're like, she's so great with charity, which also that whole Be Strong is just like a shell for a different charity. That was a whole video that's out there on TikTok, which we looked into, and it's true. But Be Strong basically goes to, you think she started her own foundation, but essentially all the money for Be Strong goes to another 501c3 nonprofit. And what the person alleges is that she has made such a big donation by having her fans donate that she can then put like she basically is the banner sponsor of this foundation. That's really what it is. And says, oh, Be Strong, we're sending all this relief to Puerto Rico, or we're sending all this relief. And it's actually them, but she's just raised the most money. So she gets to say, oh, it's me. A little bit of false advertising there. Anyhow, there's your Bethany rant for the day. The other rant for the day is anybody else over the very demure, very mindful dude or woman? Sorry, she's trans, and she is very happy because her very demure, very mindful is going to pay for her to get or complete her transition surgery. Jules LeBron is her name. And it started as this thing where she just said, like, my makeup.
Hotel at 9 a.m. I don't make noise like you girls. I'm very demure. I'm very cutesy. You know?
Very cutesy, very demure. Everybody is loving her.
How I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work.
Okay, well, everybody loves them some Jules. If you're over the very demure, very, very mindful trend, you're probably getting more of it. She's now getting brand deals. Good for her. Like I said, she's going to pay for her transition. And she also, J-Lo has done a recreation, the whole thing. Now she's asking if Airbnb can sponsor her because she wants to go take her, I believe her mom or her grandmother, to Puerto Rico. So she's very excited about that. Well, good.
The only reason my looks or my teeth on the internet is because they know that the bag I'm about to get from all the success that I've had is about to change it. Now she's making fun of someone who won't be here in a few weeks. The only reason
that's kind of funny. So she's clapping back at people that have something to say about her appearance, and it seems like it's all taking off. Bottom line, I do agree with this part about her. She says, post it on the internet. She said, post it on the internet. If she's like, if I hadn't, just posted me being me, I would never be making money flying across the country getting brand deals. Well, with that, I agree with that one, girl. I don't really get the very demure, very mind. It basically means that you're very subtle, very considerate of your looks. It's just a trend anyway. But the internet is talking about it, and they're very divided. They either love it or they absolutely hate it. So there you go. There you have it. I have to shout out Kim K, who was in DC. My friend Blair, who I love, sent me the video. She said, all right, LA ain't the only place with celebrities in lines, because I've been standing in lines for whether it's something about her or Kylie Jenner's crumble cookie collaboration. I got to say, and I know people hate crumble cookies. They're actually, I thought they were better than I remember. Like, I think they've taken people's suggestions and they cook them more and they're less sweet. My 2 cents. But did you get to see Kim K in Georgetown? They opened a permanent Skims location in Georgetown and Kim K rolled up. The videos being circulated on TikTok. They look great. Kim surprised everybody. She did not say she was coming, but the lines were long to see my girl Kim K. Lastly, Dorm Talk. Dorm Talk is also taking over. You guys know I'm obsessed with TikTok. I don't know. So I do know all the trends. I don't get them all. I don't care about most of them, but I do follow them. And the other Dorm Talk that I absolutely find to be the most ridiculous thing that's happening this fall is there are some people. Now, this is mostly in the South, by the way. So FYI. But dorm talks where the girls and the moms are going in and decorating. You can watch this on my YouTube. Are decorating dorm rooms for anywhere from $1,000 to $8,000 because they make custom bedding and custom drapes and curtains to hang up in this. What? Anybody else go to like Five Below to outfit their dorm room back in the day? I'm trying to think of, ours was like Spencer Gifts and Claire's. I feel like Claire's sold like pillows and crap you could buy in the early aughts. That's what I did. And of course, everybody, and you went to Bed Bath & Beyond. Like everyone went to Bed Bath & Beyond to outfit their college. Oh God. Does anyone else have anxiety thinking about going to college? Oh, I do. Oh, like I'm so, college for me was so hard. I went to an all women's college at Mount Holyoke, and I really just wanted to be a radio DJ and TV personality and be Jerry Springer. So when I went to Mount Holyoke, the women were so smart. Everybody there was like a doctor or a dentist. And I was like, fucking hell, I want to like play Little Kim. I do not. It was so hard. I had to really study and work, and I have anxiety thinking about moving back in and doing it. But Dorm Talk is going viral again for the cost, for these moms, for these girls. And then look at these places. This is going to end up with vomit and condoms all over it. And we've done custom bedding for these watts. What? Here it is. Look at this tour.
It has been a labor of love, hours, all the things. But we are so proud of how it turned out. We were able to mix some schnozery.
What?
In certain places.
What's a schnozery?
Hold it in the lamps. Their girls are from Texas. So of course, we had to have a little piece. Here's their bed. We had to give them a little piece of home right there. And here's Colonel Red, the watercolor by Amanda Fox. It turned out fantastic.
Who's Amanda
There's
Fox?
All the bedding by Premier Fabrics.
I know Amanda Bynes.
They are my go-to place. And again, this is my...
Look, you get the gist. I mean, this bedding is insane, right? It looks like something out of Lily Pulitzer. It's like, it just everything is done so demure and mindful. No, gauche and foolish. Anyhow, you can see the videos. Who the fuck goes to college like this? I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of, did I have like a poster of Luke Perry still on my wall? I guess that was high school. Luke Perry at that point was out. This is crazy to me. Mostly these dorm rooms are being done over the top in Ole Miss, down at Ole Miss and LSU. I always thought I want to go to Ole Miss. And then I realized like biggest I swear, I'm the most high-low bitch you've ever met. Like, I love a Four Seasons dinner, but if you saw what I looked like day to day, stained. I mean, honestly, if I didn't, thank God I got a full set of teeth, because if I didn't, you'd be completely like this trailer park queen. Truly, I am that, but I really enjoy an $800 dinner. That is it. But if I went down to, oh, miss, I would never fit in. Like, I could not. No. Anyhow, these before and after dorm room shots, they put glamour shots of themselves up on the walls. This is so crazy. So crazy. They do trays on the beds. Aren't these girls like going to hook up with dudes? Like what dude in college wants to come in and ruffle through 18 pillows to hook up with your drunk ass? No thanks. Okay. Well, hopefully KJ. And then my luck will be like, KJ was like, and I'm accepting it. LSU. I'll be like, oh, great. I wonder what the boys do, or do they do normal dorm rooms? All right, look, we're out of here. Okay, huge week on TSFS this week. Yesterday, the queen of Melrose herself, Cosmo Lombino. You've seen Cosmo TikTok trend. I told you guys I'm addicted to TikTok. Cosmo had the very famous, so my father gets a job at the Palm restaurant, and my uncle, like Louis, works there too. Anyhow, you've seen it. He is on. He has a store here in Melrose. He's the most amazing, kind, sweetest thing you have ever met in your life. And by the way, he's sort of pronoun fluid. Does anyone care? Anyway, he doesn't care what you call him, woman, man. So that's how I feel. You're welcome to call me he. And anyhow, so she is on the show and it's so great. I love it. It's a story of true redemption and getting sober in your 50s. And also hilarious stories about celebrities that she never shared before. So go and listen to that. Tomorrow, huge recap. I'm so happy. Shida and Bilal are pregnant from 90 Day Fiance. They've been trying for 3 years. I can completely relate to their baby struggle. 5 months preggers. So we're so excited and happy for them. We'll talk more about that. Welcome to Plathville recap. Episode 6 drops tonight. So we'll talk about that. Sister Wives tea. Cody Brown. Cody and Robin, how did they feel about the trailer for season 19 and some leaks coming out of what we can expect on season 19? So we'll get into all of that. Thursday, David Yontef joins the pod. So does David on Friday. Saturday, Rachel Yucatel, fellow podcaster from Misunderstood. We do a recap of what's happening from news and stories of the week. And then Sunday, I step into the vault and play some of the most popular podcast episodes that I can, because unfortunately with podcasting, very hard to go back and find some of the biggest episodes. It's very hard to search. For whatever reason, you can't pin episodes. You can't create like a podcast list, so you could just have like your most downloaded. It's very strange. So anyhow, I try to give you some of the best of. All right, love you all. Follow me on TikTok for more at the Sarah Fraser. Bye, everybody.